Hey guys, Nikki here, and today I'm going to show you a 10-minute full body routine that you can do using a resistance band. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's get started. All that you're going to need for this workout is a TheraBand. Mine's a 6-foot long one. It's a medium weight, though medium to light is good. And all I've done is I've tied a knot on one side just for easy access for certain exercises. So we're just gonna start with a little shoulder warm up. You're gonna come to kneeling. And then you're just gonna put a little bit of tension on the band, taking a breath in. And then exhale, kind of softening the ribs, finding your core. Do a slight tug outward on the band, and you'll kind of feel your shoulders activate and your arm bones kind of draw into the sockets. And that's what we want, kind of activating shoulder stabilizers. And then release, breath in, and exhale, gently pull. So here you're just kind of finding that connection with your shoulders and your core, using the band for a little bit of extra feedback. We'll go 2 more times, breath in, and exhale, slight pull. And one more time. So again, this just kind of kicks on rotator cuff and some of those muscles that help stabilize our shoulders that tend to be a little bit weak in some of us. And we're gonna add on. So this time you're gonna take a breath in, exhale, do a slight tug on the band and reach the arms up overhead as far as you can go, keeping the collarbones wide without arching your back or flaring your ribs. And inhale, coming back down, slackening your tension on the band. And again, exhale, a little bit of a tug, pull it overhead. And inhale to float back down. We'll go 2 more times. Exhale, slight tug, lifting up and coming back down. Once more, breath in. Exhale, little tug and come back down. Continue with that shoulder warm up. You're going to come onto your back. You're going to pop the band around 1 foot. And then once you've got it there, you're going to lie on your back here and you're just going to grab the band in your hand. So you want to have enough tension on the band that it's not loose, but they're, again, not a super heavy grip, just enough to feel a bit of tension. Set your shoulder by sinking it down towards the ground. Taking a breath in, as you exhale, you're going to reach the arm overhead. Feeling a little bit of activation kind of right by your armpit in that serratus or that shoulder stabilizer. Then inhale, come back up, and just do a few like that. So I'm going to teach this exercise later today. If you're really struggling to feel kind of this activation here along the side of your armpit, or you feel pinching in the front of your shoulder, I want you to just focus on keeping the collarbone wide here. Don't do anything else. If everything feels good, float that leg in tabletop, choke on the band a little bit more, and this time you're going to exhale, reach the arm and leg in opposite directions, coming back in on the inhale. And so you could do a few like this, and if you feel like you're able to keep your ribs, here's level 3. You can float the second leg up in tabletop, exhale, reach. So again, you could always stay with the base option, but just a little bit more advanced, still keeping width in the collarbones. One more time. If you feel your back arch off the mat, I would drop down to having 1 foot on the ground. And then take a breath in, exhale, float 1 foot down, and then release the band. And you're gonna switch, okay, switching sides. So foot is down on the ground. You've got a little bit of tension on the band. Take a breath in. Exhale, reaching the arm overhead, feeling a little bit of activation by your armpit, and then coming back up. Just doing a couple more like that. So again, this is your base option. If you feel pinching in the front of your shoulder, you want to focus on keeping your collarbone wide, and I would just stay with this level. Same thing if you have a lot of low back stuff going on. If everything feels good though, take a breath in, exhale, find your core, sink your ribs, float your leg in tabletop, choke up on your band a little bit as needed. Same idea, but a little more challenging. Breath in, exhale, reaching arm and leg in opposite directions this time, and inhale to come back up. Just a couple like that. So again, this is kind of your level 2. If everything feels good, do you feel like your hips are stable, you're not arching your back off the mat, and you try a little bit more core activation, floating that second leg up in tabletop, and now you're going to reach the arm and leg out, still focusing on keeping the distance between the ribs and the hips the same. Good work. We'll go 1 more. And then hold, and then float your free foot down to the ground, and then free your other foot from the band. So adding on here, this time we're going to focus a little bit more on glute activation. You're going to pop the band around 1 foot, do a slight choking up, hips stable. Taking a breath and exhale. Now push the leg out, so you're going to focus more on the glute here, less on the shoulders, and then bending back in. So again, here's your base option. You're just seeing if you can do this without shifting your hips side to side. If you feel good with it, you can add a little more challenge again by floating the other leg up in tabletop. So the leg in tabletop is staying stable now as you move the band. And what I feel here is a little more instability, so it's a little harder to hold my hips stable when I'm in this position. Go one more, push the leg out, float your foot down to the ground, keep the legs in the band flexed. You're just going to inhale, take it up, exhale, float it down. And all I'm doing here is I'm seeing, can I move my leg without, I'm going to do it wrong, hiking my hips. So both hips are stable. You're just trying to move your leg separate of your hip. And again, if you want a little more challenge, float that free leg in tabletop. We'll go one more time. And then pause, bend your knee, switch sides, pop the band around your other foot, put leg number 2 on the ground, square off your pelvis as best as you can, exhale, push that foot out, inhale to bend back in. So a little bit of glutes here, but really it's a lot of core. You're really activating your obliques to try to avoid shifting from side to side as you move your leg or hiking in your hip. If everything feels good, second leg can be in tabletop. Same idea, a little bit harder. You're going to have to really think about sinking those ribs and using your exhale to push that leg out away from you. Let's go one more. Sliding the leg out, we're going to go up and down. So inhale to float it up. Try to keep both hips anchored to the ground. Exhale to float it back down. Inhale to take it up. Exhale to float it down. Let's try 2 more. Inhale, floating it up. Exhale, floating it down. One final time. Inhale, float it up. Exhale, float it down. Let your free leg find the ground. Bend your knee in. Release the band. From here, roll to your side, come on up, and we're going to come and do a little bit of work kneeling. So you're going to pop the band around your foot one more time. And then you're going to come onto all here. So knees underneath hips, hands underneath shoulders. Here we're going to go into just a little bit more glute work, this time kind of with a little more challenge to the obliques from gravity. So I want you to think about lengthening from tail to head. And when you're ready, you're going to exhale, float the leg out to hip height, and then inhale, bend the knee back in. Just trying a couple of these. And what you're trying to do here, I'm moving my right leg. I'm trying not to shift my weight too far to the left side of my body. So I'm almost dropping my right hip a little bit towards the ground, putting a little more weight into my right hand to stay square. And that's not only activating my right glute, but I'm really starting to feel some work here also across my obliques. Float your leg out and hold. You're going to touch the toe down and then lift it back up. And then touch the toe down and then lift it back up. We'll go 2 more times. Touch the toe down, lift it back up one final time. Touch the toe down, lift it back up, bend your knee in. Drop your band for a moment. We're going to go the other side, but we're going to do a little bit of work here on the shoulder. So still focusing on that right side. I want you to be stable in your left. Feel like you've got a good push from your left hand towards your left shoulder. And now reach your right arm out to the side, trying not to twist. And this time you're going to activate the rear delt or the back of your right shoulder as you take a breath in. Exhale, float the hand up, not twisting, and then take it back down. And just try a couple of these. And what you should start to feel in a moment is actually a little bit of work on the back side of your shoulder. We tend to be quite weak here, so it's a good one to work. Even though it's unloaded, it should still feel like you've got some good core and shoulder work going on. Good. Do one more. Float the arm up and let it rest. Let's try the other. So switch feet. Pop the band on. Once you've got it there, you're going to hold it in your hand just so you can kind of anchor the tension. Lengthen up from tail to head. And then when you're ready, you're going to exhale, float the leg out, and inhale to bend back in. Trying not to twist or lean too far now into your right side. Exhale to push. Inhale to lower. What you're trying to avoid is this thing where you kind of arch your back. You want to keep your back really still and move through just the hip. Pause on the next one, touch the toe down, breath in. Exhale, float it up. Now as I get tired, I feel myself leaning right, so I'm almost going to drop my left hip a little bit to square off, and that's actually giving me more activation through my abdominals. We'll go 2 more. Nicely done. Last one. Bend your knee in, release the band. You're not going to need it. One final thing. Finishing off, this time on your left side. So again, anchor through your right side, lengthen from tail to head, float your left fingers out to the side, and then when you're ready, exhale, lift the left arm up. Inhale, float it down. So again, we're targeting the rear delt here, or the back of our shoulder. This guy's a little bit weak. It's a good one to strengthen, both for shoulder health, also for posture. Exhaling to lift, inhaling to lower. Let's just go 2 more. Taking it up and lowering it down one time, final time. Lift up, lower down, and rest. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'd invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel for weekly tips and videos on how to get results in your fitness programs with less pain.